Hello, and welcome to The Inverted Castle, a podcast about Metroidvania games. I'm a meat puppet, Thomas Blight, and with me is the man who's really pulling the strings, Eric Fox.
Hi, I'm crazy, and this is my puppet. It's just been me talking to myself for, 4 years or so. See, no one else would laugh at my jokes.
Am I a Chucky puppet, or I don't know.
Well, I hope you're not. I'm pretty sure that didn't work out so well for the owners. But this isn't Child's Play. This is a game for grown-ups. We're playing probably the biggest release in quite some time, at least in our sphere. Hollow Knight, Silksong, you might have heard of it.
Yeah. 7 years after its predecessor, the acclaimed totally a DLC.
Yeah.
They finally fulfilled their Kickstarter goals.
If you can hand one thing to Team Cherry, it's their commitment to doing what they say, which is making a game eventually.
Yeah.
As well as adhering to most of the design philosophy that Hollow Knight had is still well and truly alive in this one.
Yeah. How did you feel about it overall?
It's a big game.
It is big.
I liked it a lot. There are a couple of things that I wouldn't say are necessarily bad so much as I wish were better. But this is definitely a, spoiler alert, at least top 5 game for our purposes.
Ooh.
And I think overall I probably liked it better than the original.
Oh, okay. I think I'm a little on the opposite side of that.
I see.
So it is I'm sure we'll have some agreement on this. It is my favorite game where I hate most of the design decisions they've made.
I see.
In that I'm not sure anything they changed from Hollow Knight is a positive. That's not entirely true. There's some things are fine, right? Totally cool with Hornet's movement.
Yes.
Mostly cool with the crests.
Yeah, that's more of a lateral move for me, what they did there, and we'll get into exactly what they did later, but the only real issue I had was with quest design.
Yes, that's fair.
Beyond that, even stamping down the hype cycle and expectations coming into it, I feel like I more or less came out of it pretty positively, but also from what I've heard online, I was less held up by a lot of the difficulty, I guess, that some people experienced.
I mean, I never was very bothered by the difficulty. I was more bothered by tedium. It's a more tedious game than the first one was. Although, granted, I also haven't played the first game since about when it came out, because when you played it, I didn't play it. That was when we were doing the weird trying to do 2 games at the same time format, and I actually haven't played it since because it turns out I have no time.
Yeah, you can't exactly play another 30-hour game while we're doing this. I regularly do, but I have no life.
It's entirely possible that in the intervening 7 years or however long I actually played it in, I have forgotten how long the runbacks were or something like that, right?
Yeah, obviously I played it a bit more recently, but that was the first episode we did, right? This is 4 or 5 years now. I can't even remember how long we've been doing this off the top of my head, but I've also forgotten most of the experiential moment-to-moment thing. I do know that I did not 100% it, unlike this game. So, asterisk on 100%, we'll get into that.
Yeah. I also have 100%ed quotes this game, but there's still more to do. So I don't understand how that percentage works, but
But instead of talking about abstracts, we'll probably get into the nitty-gritty as is our wont. Should we start with an overview of what happens in the game?
Yeah, so I kind of wonder what this is like for the first time experience, if you're not coming from Hollow Knight. I feel like they don't really tell you things that you need to know, but whatever. So we open with Hornet having been captured by a mysterious group and carted around in a cage. The cage is momentarily disrupted by some kind of butterfly.
Yes.
And Hornet seizes that opportunity to just wreck everything, basically.
Yeah, does one of her super moves, destroys a bridge.
And then, tumbles down, stumbles out into the ruins of a once great but now lost civilization,
Yep.
Punch your bingo card.
It's a classic for a reason. It's like you can't do the Dark Souls style without an ancient civilization on the cusp or having already gone through its Armageddon of sorts. This one's just barely clinging on to the what remains of a dying god.
Yeah. So this one is called Farloom. It seems like there's a lot of pilgrims here in Farloom. There's a fairly pronounced religious aspect, I guess. There's a lot of people who are like, I need to be like pious and don't particularly feel like I need to fight, and I'll make it to the Citadel and everything will be great there.
Yeah.
Spoilers, it's not.
No.
Who could have seen that coming?
Hornet's goal is to get to the Citadel to see why she got captured, who's doing this. There's this curse over the land where a bunch of silken threads are resurrecting zombies and controlling them like bug meat puppets, hence our little intro there. And Hornet is more or less takes it personally and just be like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this, and anything that stands in my way gets cut.
Yeah. Which, like, she decides this, but then otherwise I kind of feel like she doesn't have a ton of agency in the story.
So, kind of, like, on the way up there, when you get to each of the different little pilgrim settlements, there'll be this wish board, which is just, hey, some bugs have some wants. Usually because of this religious theocracy going on, they just kind of pray, and the people at the top kind of just use them. That's the metaphor going on here. But you as Hornet, you fulfill these wishes, and she kind of goes from being kind of disaffected, like she'll solve something if she gets a reward out of it, to, as you do more and more, kind of ingratiating herself with the bugs there. I think that's what's kind of going on with the whole wish system.
I guess.
That's how I interpreted it. And so by the end, like, literally there is a path that if she wanted to leave Farloom, she could just walk out. But Hornet, the character, says, no, I've still got business here.
That's true. At first, she's still like, I still need to punk the people who thought they could take me on.
Yeah, exactly. But then it's also like, oh, if I leave now, everything's going to get ruined. So I guess I'm responsible.
I mean, I don't think the character from the first game, who I don't even know what to call him, Bug Knight.
The Vessel?
Yeah, the Vessel, I guess. He had no agency, basically, right? He's just kind of following people's script. But he is also, like, inherently mindless. So, I don't know, it bothered me more.
I don't know. I was actually bothered less that in this game, Hornet has dialogue, unlike in the first game where whenever you're talking to someone, they just monologue at you. This one, Hornet has a character, and I think
that's fair.
There is an arc of sorts, mostly between her and the rival character Lace, who you meet on your way up there.
Yeah.
Lace is a artificial construct bug made entirely out of silk.
Yeah, who knows how that works?
Well, it turns out her mother, in heavy quotes, is the Grandmother Silk. This is the god at the top of the Citadel.
Also, heavy spoilers.
Yeah, we always do this. I'm sorry. We should really just have like a
standard spoiler alert.
Standard spoiler alert just for the entire podcast, because
Yeah, whatever. Go for it.
Sure. That's the god at the top. She is the god who, I can't remember if it's she created or elevated the weavers of old as her like children, the heir to her power, but they kind of rebelled at some point. They move over to Hallownest. One of them is Hornet's mother, and so Hornet being half weaver, that's why Grandmother Silk captured her, brought her back, because she can be the heir to this throne, I suppose. It's weird.
Yeah.
The bad ending is you slaying the Grandmother Silk and just stealing her power outright instead of, being her, like basically her own puppet, I think is what really the god wants.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it wasn't as revelatory in the story. I don't know. Like, maybe I missed some stuff. I think the idea is that she is supposed to have elevated the Farlids, the little spidery enemies that you see, into the Weavers.
Yes.
Because, like, there's a scene after fighting First Sinner, and I think that's what it's trying to imply there.
Yeah, the First Sinner being, like, the first Weaver of sorts, I believe.
I don't actually know what First Sinner's crime was, but I assume it was betraying Grandmother Silk?
It was apostasy. That's what I assume it would mean, because she's an apostate, so she's gone against the teachings of this theocracy, right? And so she was locked away, no hope of ever getting out, and is an optional boss. I think optional for even true end, but
Yeah, I don't think you need to face the first sinner at all.
you should. It's a good fight.
Yeah, very fun fight. I totally lost the track of what I was going to say.
Less revelatory. You were just not hit by the lore.
Yeah, I felt like it was all kind of building the same note, and like that's fine, but I kept expecting the twist
Okay.
of like, oh, things aren't how you thought they were. It's this other thing. And I mean, maybe that's like, I don't need everything to be like, what a twist! Like the robot chicken M. Night Shyamalan, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, it was kind of flat for me, and I'm wondering if I missed something that would have made it not flat.
I don't know.
I don't know, it's just like, yep, corrupted church thing is bad.
Yeah.
There was at least some interesting texture in there of like the other people in the slab, which is the jail. Like you can read some descriptions, and like some people start getting imprisoned for like having been crippled in an accident or being sick. It's like, well, that's messed up.
Yes. Anyone undesirable. And even as you're working your way through the underworks into the Citadel, you'll find like the worker bugs who are toiling away endlessly with the promise of ascending to the hallowed halls of the Citadel, but it's all like automated. They're never going anywhere. Like the idea is, even after the Weavers left, the bugs that remained continued on this like totalitarian, like
Yeah, like caste system kind of thing.
like even before the grandmother Silk kind of started escaping her cage in the cradle, basically before the Weavers left, they imprisoned her, but she started to leak out. That's the haunting. That's the Silk that's resurrecting zombies. Before that, the church was totally corrupt, and all of these pilgrims that placed their faith in these wishes, it's going nowhere until like everything collapsed and you show up.
Yeah.
So I guess I wasn't as put off by the straightforwardness of this. I kind of appreciated how understandable what the story was. I feel like I remember kind of losing the thread, in the original Hollow Knight. Things were just kind of happening for, I'm assuming, a reason, but I honestly wasn't paying attention to it as much. This one, at least, for one thing, I could follow the overall thing. It never really changes. As you said, there's no real twist. But also, I think the characters were a bit stronger, just for like, you see the settlement and, oh, there's Sherma, like slowly going from being this deeply pious person to having their faith shaken to being the new leader in Songclave after being saved by you and being impressed. Basically, him or her, I'm not sure about Sherma.
I've heard some people say him, and I was like, I don't know, I thought that was a girl.
It's hard to say. The bug voices don't really give anything away either. Not that I would try to sex a bug. That I'm
You wouldn't sex a bug.
Listen, people have been shipping Hornet and Lace pretty hard, so I'm not sure that no one would, but I won't.
I'm honestly not surprised. Also Chakra, I assume.
Yes, at least from what's been passing by my desk. More Hornet and Lace, because there's nothing more erotic than the, dueling your rival to the death.
Yes. The most erotic thing is when we just kill each other.
The inherent romanticism of your mortal enemy.
Fair.
But things like that, and things like Lace herself being the like constructed replacement heir that could not live up to Grandmother Silk's ambitions, and so was mostly just discarded, and thus has kind of a chip on her shoulder, leading to the true end is you trying to ensnare Grandmother Silk into the abyss. She tries to take you with her, but then Lace saves you mostly just to spite her mom and gets taken instead.
Yeah.
It's there's some family drama going on here that, I don't know, it worked for me.
I could see someone spinning that into the enemies to star-crossed lovers, I guess.
You do save Lace at the end from the abyss, so,
Yeah.
you almost don't make it, and then there's a reference to Hollow Knight. I guess the vessel is lost in the abyss and drags you out of it.
Yeah.
I do not remember Hollow Knight original at all to know if that makes sense.
It does, I guess, in that, like, the end fight with the Radiance has the vessel, like, fully join the abyss along with the Hollow Knight.
Ah, gotcha.
Right, and basically the abyss beats the crap out of the Radiance, right?
Yeah.
And then the abyss just kind of drains away, and the end scene is just Hornet lying on the ground with the vessel's broken mask.
Yes.
So it's like, that's some of the stuff where it's like that and a lot of the red memory. I'm like, I don't think you really set up the context for this for people who didn't play Hollow Knight. It's great that I'm getting this.
Yeah.
But I have to imagine there's someone there just being like, who are all these people?
Yeah, I think the nature of these games is also like, if you don't know the specific lore, you can still get by on vibes. Like, you don't know why there's a bee queen there, but you're like, okay, yeah, she fights with a needle. Cool, I guess they have that kind of relationship. It's kind of like just gesturing towards a history, and if you wanted to, you could play the original game. But it's a thing that I don't think is necessary to understand the story. And mostly it's just like a cool dream sequence that hints towards a history.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, the red memory I think didn't really enhance the experience of this game.
I would say it did. I liked it.
It felt like fan service for the first one. It's like, okay, well, you stuck through this. Here's some stuff about Hornet's upbringing. None of this is really relevant right now. So, I don't know. I think that is kind of at the spot where the turn in the first one is, and it's like, okay, now you're actually understanding about the Radiance.
I see.
Which I think it was a more interesting moment.
So, as someone who doesn't remember enough about Hollow Knight, even though it's been longer for you, apparently you got that on lock in your brain more than me. It was not really fan service because I wasn't remembering most of it. For me, it was a bunch of character moments for Hornet. And yeah, it doesn't really relate to the main plot, but I'm someone who doesn't really care about that kind of lore generally. And so for me, it was just a bunch of scenes that relate to Hornet as a character. That's probably why I also enjoyed most of this game anyway, because it's, again, I'm not caring about what's really going on so much as, oh, what's the little pilgrim story? Who is Lace and why does she hate me so much but laugh? And why is it so strangely attractive? It's one of those things, right?
Yeah, I just feel like it could have maybe be better brought in somehow. Like, if it actually gave us more idea of why Hornet doesn't want to give up on Lace, that might be nice.
I suppose. I think the rest of the game and like just the grandmother Silk dragging you into this as it is and clearly denoting you as the heir, replacing Lace with you. Like, I think that relationship is already pretty well established. Maybe I was just already reading too much into things, but it seemed clear to me. And so you saving Lace at the end, it makes sense because she's corrupted by the Abyss in that last fight. And the whole reason Armageddon was happening, like the Abyss is encroaching on Farloom in Act 3, is that the grandmother Silk, it's so weird. Like, I'm trying not to say grandmother. It's just grand space mother Silk.
It's fine. Grandma Silk.
Grandma Silk is actually protecting Lace during that. It's a weird thing that Hornet just kind of assumes, and that's made canon just because you have to show that somehow. And so it's through dialogue. But
yeah,
the complicated family dynamics and weird emotions that go into that, like, I think that worked enough for me that, like, during the climactic final moments, I'm just like, okay, yeah, it felt satisfying.
Okay.
So I didn't come away with it like feeling disappointed because I guess I didn't have the expectations in the main plot. Honestly, it exceeded my expectations for me giving a shit about these bugs, which I can't really say I did in the first game.
That's fair. I don't know. I think something is off about the rhythm that I did things, and that might be my own fault.
Sure.
So, like, I felt like there should have been one more quest to do something important for Sherma or something like that. once Sherma is the Pope? Question mark? I don't know.
By default, essentially. Everyone else is a zombie, so... Or a snail, and dead.
But yeah, I experienced this game in a strange order, which, I don't know, I did some silly things.
Okay.
I didn't open the weave nests until the very end of Act 2, because I forgot that the Needlein could open those doors. And where those doors were, I just hadn't noted them, because I guess, I don't know, the first time I didn't have map markers, and the second time I didn't go that far because I knew there was nothing there. Quotes.
Yeah, but even without markers, the doors are drawn on the map.
Yes, I know. That's why it's silly.
Okay, excellent. Okay, we're all on the same page. You're right. It is your fault.
Yeah, I don't know. Things like that. I did basically everything I can in Act 2 before moving on to Act 3.
I think I did too, but by design, not so much I was lost. I just wanted to do everything and wasn't sure an Act 3 existed at the time because I didn't look anything up until at least the percentage count that they give you in game was at 93.
Fair.
And I was just kind of wrapping things up at the end. So for me, it was I explored everywhere except the obvious like final boss thing just because, well, what if it's the actual final boss?
Yeah, I was also flying blind there, and which reminds me, there's another bad end. I'm not sure if you know about it. Maybe you've looked it up since.
Not to my knowledge, I don't think.
So, you know how you get infected to get the Witch Crest?
Ah, yes.
If you go and fight and beat Grandma Silk in that state, there is another bad end in which you are taken over by the wood parasite.
Interesting. No, I literally could not have done that because despite me saying like, oh yeah, I did everything before moving on to Act 3, I did everything that I could find, and I definitely missed some pretty, I don't know, obvious in retrospect hidden walls. So I literally did not get the whole infected, get the witch crest or whatever until I was already in Act 3, and thus could no longer trigger that ending.
Fair. Yeah, I don't know. That's just an interesting texture detail.
Yeah.
I learned of this far after I had already purged it. I was just like, oh, okay, if you want to challenge yourself to fight her without healing and stuck on the witch crest, and I don't know if you even get charms, then you can do that.
I don't think you do, but that fight isn't so bad. I think it's very doable.
Yeah.
Again, like it's for a bad end and also a time-limited one. There are a lot of weird hidden things in this game. I don't know if I didn't know about it. I had to hear about it from another friend, but there's like an addition to the true end with a mushroom.
Oh, I haven't gone and fought the end boss after doing that quest.
Yeah.
Mr. Mushroom was in the first game, and I never actually did that. I learned about it later.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I didn't know about the mushroom at all until he told me about it after I had 100%ed the game. Because I wasn't searching for just like a list of everything to do. I was looking for specific things I knew I was missing.
Yeah.
Before wrapping up the game. And so, yeah, this weird mushroom, it like from the sounds of it, it's like saving the animals in Super Metroid, where there's just like this little tiny animation to the end screen, but that's all that changes.
Yeah, he also had a modified ending in the first game. He was a lot harder to find in the first game, if I recall. Because this one gives you a riddle and checks off ones that you've done.
He was hard enough to find that I literally did not find him at all.
Yeah, you had to remember to super jump.
Yes, that's why I did not.
I don't know, I got a little silly with the super jumping. I was definitely checking all the ceilings. I kept wanting dust falling down effects to be an indicator of a place that you should super jump. And they never were, except for like one.
I see, but otherwise it was just randomly happening.
Yeah, there's like one in Bellheart there.
Yeah, but Bellheart also has like bells falling constantly all throughout the bellways there.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think we've exhausted pretty much anything we can talk about the story.
Basically, yeah. Thumbs up from me.
Until someone makes a lore video, I guess.
Thing is, I am deeply uninterested in watching something like that.
Fair.
Yeah, no, I got what I got, and all the reasons why I became like this. I got the vibes. I'm good. I already spent 40 hours in this game. I'm done.
Oh, only 40? Jeez, that's brisk.
Yeah, apparently.
I think I'm at like 70.
Wow. I keep hearing this, and Like I've been listening to podcasts and they're always talking about like, yeah, 60, 65 hours struggling on bosses. And like in my mind, I have those like dark unbidden thoughts like, psh, about to say what a scrub. And so all I can say is someone needs to find me a locker just big enough to hold also a toilet so you can simultaneously give me a swirly, because I need to be bullied so badly. I'm the worst gamer in my brain right now.
You need to be bullied for your opinions on the difficulty of the game.
Yeah, like I'm coming into this and being like, yeah, honestly, like the disappointing part of this game, other than the quest design, is that it's not mean enough. People need to add like difficulty sliders so that the sliders can go both ways for sickos like me.
Yeah. I mean, I probably did handicap myself by not using the red tools very much.
Oh no.
That's a whole point of discussion to have. Right, so like, it does this thing with having two currencies, right? You've got the rosaries, which are the actual money that people use, and then shell shards, which is raw materials that Hornet makes her stuff out of, and some other people ask of you, which, I don't know, my opinion, that's a mistake to have done.
Like, I think there are like 2-3 wishes that want you to give them a bunch of those shell shards, but outside of that, it's purely for crafting.
Yeah, but Eric, I have to hold on to the shell shards so that I can complete the wish.
No, I get you. Simply don't lose on bosses, and then you don't spend many shards.
That's fair. I mean, my solution was just to not use tools, and I was never frustrated by bosses. Some of the enemy gauntlets, different story, right? But mostly for length and not difficulty.
Well, length is a difficulty on itself when you're talking about like attrition.
I guess.
Hornet does heal, like she's very good at healing. I think the first game you had to be like standing on the ground and it took a bit longer. This one, Hornet can just jump in the air. You can even get another equipment that speeds it up.
Yeah, and it heals 3 at once.
Yes.
But yes, enemies deal more damage. They move to 2 masks very quickly, some of which got patched. There's a bunch of hazards that dealt 2 damage that weren't actually supposed to deal 2 damage, apparently. Right? Like, I mean, you might have completed these areas before that happened.
Probably.
But Blasted Sands and the Gears.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know what else were both reduced.
Yeah, I remember the Gears.
The lava was not. The lava stayed 2.
Well, yeah, because lava, you're supposed to have the magma bell equipment to reduce that to 1.
Yeah, I guess so.
There was a thing for that, but the others, yeah, it makes sense to reduce it. But yeah, this game is designed around fluctuating health in a way. So like you're going near death, back up to full, in and out of the fight. But in regards to the red tools, which are the ones that use the currency, you have different numbers of them at once. So like you can equip 2 to have between benches.
Yeah.
I had it so that you only hold so many shell shards at once. So once I hit the cap, I'm just like, well, I may as well use them. You're just getting them hand over fist anyway. And I've got like the little items that are just a bunch of shards on a stick. You can just crack it whenever you need them. So once I hit the point where even if I ran into needing them, I had the resources, it turns out it's fine. It turns out you can just use tools.
Yeah, some of this is just me stubbornly not engaging with a system that I don't like.
I see.
So, like, there were points where I tried to use them, and my experience of them was I'm either at full or I'm empty. And so I just stopped using them, because then it wouldn't bother me that I was at empty. I do think there's something just wrong about the economy of the game, because, like, if you talk about it with people, they'll be like, oh, it's easy, just grind rosary enemies to buy shard packages.
What? No.
And it's like, that completely defies the 2 currency point to me, right? Like, if the right thing to do is go have the other currency so you have money to buy the packs, it's like, what even is the point of fighting the enemies that give you only shards if apparently the enemies that give you rosaries are better for mitigating this problem?
I'm not sure if it is better. I certainly never grinded enemies. The enemies that give you the shards do respawn just by leaving the room and coming back. So theoretically, that's something that the rosary enemies do not. They're also in higher abundance in certain areas. it's hard to say what the solution is to a problem I just didn't have.
Fair.
I was also pretty stingy with them during boss fights. Like, while I'm still trying to learn the boss, I don't want to commit too heavily to using the tools, right?
Yeah.
And then I found in a lot of cases, I just kind of sight read the boss anyway.
Yeah.
Like, outside of a few notable tough encounters, and at least one of those was in a dream. And so in that fight, spending tools doesn't even take away from your shards.
I did find that out at some point.
Yeah, if you die and nothing's lost, you can just go ham again.
Yeah, I think I generally had more trouble with bosses. There's only, I think, one that I first tried it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which one?
It was Crust King.
Oh, Crust King. Yeah, same.
Yeah. Crust King, which apparently his lead up is obnoxious if you don't clear all 3 in one go.
Oh, yeah. There's a sequence of 3 different mob fights, and if you don't clear all 3, you don't get the shortcut to the main boss, the Crust King.
Yeah. Which you also have to fight his mob before him still, but at least you don't have to go through the other 3.
Yeah, but he ends up being a pretty straightforward, almost like platforming boss of just position correctly and you'll be fine.
Yeah, he's more Dance Dance Revolution than interesting enemy, in my opinion. I don't know.
He was fine, but that was a one and done, so who knows?
Yeah.
I think the other 2 bosses, or 3, if you do the secret Green Verdania.
Yeah, I haven't actually finished it yet. No.
Oh, no.
That's fine.
You aren't missing anything too novel. It's more or less a redux of the Clockwork Dancer fight, which is probably the best fight in the game, so, probably still good.
Fair.
Yeah, I really like the Clockwork Dancer fight of, like, the 2 robotic bugs that... It's like a dance. They move around the screen in unison and then in stutter step, but it's following a rhythm. They telegraph where they're moving, then they move. It's a really fun fight for people who like rhythm games.
I mean, I enjoyed the Clockwork Dancers.
Hell yeah.
I will probably like that fight. Very few of the fights actually, frustrated me.
Yeah, going back to what I was saying, there need to be more frustrating fights. I'm just sleepwalking over here.
All right, look at Mr. Tough Guy.
And also, only one poison swamp, basically, if you count putrefied ducks, but that's kind of like the same thing. There need to be worse areas than bile water.
I think you'll count them and there will be 3? Unless you're counting Sinner's Road and bile water and ducts as the same. Granted, ducts is pretty short.
Yeah, I guess Sinner's Road has a bit of a different flavor, but...
It literally has the poison in it.
But it's the same poison water. I need worse poison.
Oh,
darker areas.
So go back to Elden Ring.
Oh, yeah. No, Elden Ring's... it's not that bad either. You can just have a horse and be immune. No, I'm thinking, more pranks as well. There's, 3, I think, fake benches. More bullshit.
I see. You want the game to be crueler.
I was having a great time going through Bilewater and Sinner's Road, both of which had fake little gotchas there. Less Sinner's Road, that was more of just a, hey, pay for this bench. And then the bench gets caught. And you're like, oh, I see.
Yes. You did find how to uncatch it, right?
I did. Later.
Oh, okay. I found it immediately. There were definitely some people who, reading their comments, was like, I'm not sure they ever figured out that they could unstick that bench.
I knew there was a way. I'm not sure why I missed the breakable wall. It's, again, one of those so obvious in hindsight. It's just up to the left.
I don't know. The breakable walls is sometimes I'm on my best, searching every wall and ceiling, and sometimes I'm just, completely off in La La Land and never touch anything.
I get convinced that it's actually just below near the poison swamp thing, and okay, maybe I'll come back around later in the level, and then I just completely finish the rest of the level, so I just don't come back till later. But yeah, this is a game that I think, like the original Hollow Knight, is kind of best in class in terms of the mechanics of exploring being difficult.
Yeah.
And so really leveraging that aspect of it. And so maybe if they pushed it a bit further, but no, they're absolutely not hesitant around hiding entire named areas, very necessary places that is just a random breakable wall. You don't have a map yet. Do you want to keep exploring? Maybe there's a bench.
Yeah, I had a random thought. I kind of feel like their map system doesn't actually make that much sense to have pins, because you can't pin things the first time you see them.
You kind of can.
Wait, can you pin them from the world map?
If you zoom out, I believe you can do that.
If you zoom out and you have the compass to know where the hell you are?
Yeah, you just pin directly onto your little your icon. At least that's what I was doing. I believe that should work. You might have to buy the map first, but if you're in an unexplored area, that definitely works.
I never tried that. But yeah, there is some, like, kind of a weird thing where, like, you're exploring and you have to explore thoroughly in order to find the map. But then you can't note down anything that you found because you don't have the map yet. I don't know. It's fine, I guess. And ultimately, like, if I really wanted to note things, I could get out the graph paper or whatever.
Sure. Or just take note of when you get to the bench, remember what room on the now completed map the notable thing was. This is a game that wants you to have these kinds of skills. That's why it makes you eat one of your tool slots just to be able to know where you are on the map.
Yeah, but also there's nothing worth running over the compass except the magnet. That's another complaint that I have, is yellow tools are pretty meh.
There weren't enough good ones. I'll agree on that one.
I guess maybe I should have practiced enough so that I actually remembered to use Scuttle.
Scuttle was awkward. I never got the hang of that one either. I think I used the weighted belt, the one that kind of keeps you in place while you're swinging at stuff. I was using the Wanderer Crest, which turns your moveset into basically Hollow Knight Classic.
Yeah.
And so being able to just get multiple hits off without getting pushed away, it was kind of convenient. But again, this is like the third yellow slot. I just filled it with something.
I think I was just running Magnet because it's very frustrating to watch things roll into spikes. Also, there are too many places where you get resources over spikes.
It's so funny.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm so laughing right now.
I am legitimately laughing at how much you hate it.
I don't know, it's just like, it's fine, but it made things feel kind of worthless. The worst thing was trying to do the pins quest and killing someone over spikes and just being like, no, my pin.
That's the puzzle. When you're doing the pins quest, which is just kill a bunch of certain enemies and they'll drop their MacGuffin, you realize very quickly that you need to lead them down to safe ground before you kill them.
Yeah, I don't know. That kind of quest, kind of meh. I don't think Hollow Knight was improved by go get 5 bare asses.
Yes, so this is like the thing I found deeply disappointing in a game that's otherwise firing all cylinders of things I like. The quest design is ass. It's just kill X number of things or go to a place and follow the trail. It's already a place you've explored. There's no real danger until you get to the end, at which point maybe it's a unique encounter, maybe not, but that's all it is. Or just have enough resources to just buy the wish, essentially.
Yeah.
Or the courier quest, which is go to a place but quickly and don't get hit.
Yeah. What if we did more of the delicate flower? It's like, that's okay, but it's not something I want to do a ton of. I still haven't done the lacquer, even though I don't think that should be that hard.
I did do it. I think I warned you against it just because it's like the reward isn't necessary. It didn't like lead to any deep lore thing that you would care about or any reward other than money, I believe. So yeah, like I get the thematic reason to include wishes. I think from that perspective, I wouldn't want them to remove it entirely.
Yeah.
But the gameplay that it adds is just kind of tedious. To go back to your initial criticism of this game, like that's where the game kind of fell apart a bit for me. Like it's not too bad, and I play games that waste my time so much as it is. I'm not unused to this kind of behavior, but it's just like, you're supposed to be better than this.
Oh yeah, I failed the Rasher once in the dumbest way.
Oh, I failed it in a completely reasonable way.
So, did you know that just running into a wall while dashing counts as a bump?
I'm not sure if I did.
Oh, well, it does. And one time, I was like, basically scot-free, just needed to get to him in time because I was already in the spa, and just ran into a wall and ended it.
That's so...
And it was like...
That's so stupid.
I don't know.
I think it was for a different one, but I used the super jump into the ceiling, and I think that counted, but maybe I'm just misremembering. It seems like the kind of thing that would happen.
I have not actually started that in Act 3, so I don't know.
There are other, like, you can keep repeating the courier quests for money if you really want, but it's so tedious. Why would you? Because you can't fast travel or anything. You gotta hoof it.
Yeah, I mean, I did one or two back in Act 2 that were not for delivering quest resources, and it was just like, whatever. And then by the end of Act 3, I had all the money.
And also, what are you gonna do? Spend 80 hours in this game? You're good.
Yeah.
You're finally allowed to stop. Maybe you finish Green Verdania, but
Yeah. I mean, like, I finished Lost Place and then was kind of like, phew, I'm done. And then I was also like, okay, now there's all this extra stuff that I've been putting off in Act 3 that I want to do. Some of which was a little disappointing in that I thought they were going to be like optional super bosses, and it turned out that they were very reasonable optional bosses.
yeah, there's no hidden bust your ass kind of difficult boss in this game. Lost Lace is, I think, the hardest boss, who is just true final boss. Go nuts.
I mean, Trobio 2 is at least frustrating. Not that hard.
Yeah, and like Lace is a more complicated version of a fight you've already done.
Yeah.
I also had a bit of trouble with Trobio 2. I just like Trobio a lot, so I wasn't feeling frustrated.
Yeah. He didn't actually frustrate me.
Yeah.
It's like, he definitely posed a challenge where it's like, okay, I really need to figure out how to not just get blown up while I'm doing this.
Well, I keep getting hit by this one thing. How do I stop it?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, finishing up Green Verdania if you want to, but other than that, I don't think there's anything else. Going up above the cradle is this like really tall, like you equated it to the Path of Pain from the first game.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the hardest platforming in the game.
Yeah.
And the reward for it is a badge of honor, a memento.
Yeah. Like, I don't think it's as hard as the Path of Pain, and yet it's also more frustrating because you tend to lose more. At least to my recollection, I feel like there were a lot more places to stand in Path of Pain where it's like, okay, you made it past that one. You don't need to do it again.
I see.
I guess there is actually a way to get regenerating health in this game, but
Oh, yeah?
I wasn't doing it. If you get to 9 temporary...
Oh, right, with the plasmium.
Yeah, masks, then you get into the, like, overdose state, and you'll recover masks.
Yes. You could also just farm the worms that are jumping in and out on the platforms you do get to just build up silk again, but that's what I did.
That's fair. I was too bad at that and kept pushing myself back into them, probably because I wasn't using the weighted belt.
Yeah. It helped more than I thought it was, I think. Because I just kept it on, I kind of lost track of what it would feel like without it, so.
Which is funny, because, like, I think initially starting Hollow Knight, that was one of my complaints about it, is the pushback on yourself. But then I just kind of got used to it, right?
Yeah, you just hold forward a bit. They designed around the things that happen in their game. It's wild.
Yeah. So another random thing to complain about. I don't actually like the memory lockets very much.
You don't like them as
a reward.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
That might be just because of the way that I did things, where the first additional crest I got was Reaper.
Yep, I think most people do.
Which is also my favorite of the crests.
Bold. Not me.
I don't know, it just feels so good.
So the thing with Reaper is that when you use your binding to heal, you also get a buff where all your hits generate a bunch of extra silk to regenerate it.
Yeah.
As well as being large swings.
Supposedly that just mitigates the fact that you're swinging less.
Yes. But also when you're swinging less, you're dealing less damage with your needle, and that's what kind of broke it for me.
Maybe. I don't know. It felt good to use in every aspect for me, with one minus of sometimes it just does an underhand swipe when you really wanted it to be an overhand swipe.
Like, that was whatever, but also another knock against it when I begrudgingly swapped to Wanderer because I didn't want to just play Hollow Knight again, but the fast swings also generating a lot of silk was pretty good. I also found that the Artificer or Architect one that just gives you more tools, which obviously you weren't using,
so
also very good.
That's another dumb thing, is I was really bad at finding the craft metal. Which you need to get the Architect one, because you had to buy, I don't remember, is it 1 or 2 of her things before she'll sell you the key to get the Architect?
I believe that's the case. I had been stockpiling before, like I didn't give any to the Smith's daughter, so.
Oh, yeah. So, like, I had spent one on Forge Daughter. I didn't find one for a long time. I think I spent the next one on Cogflies.
Yeah.
So, like, I denied myself that for a really long time. So I was in a situation where I didn't really like Wanderer that much.
Okay.
Hunter was fine, but I also, because I never went to the nests, I never upgraded it
Oh, right.
until, like, the end of Act 2. And I hate Beast.
Yeah, Beast is bad. No one likes Beast.
Maybe somebody knows how to play Beast properly. It's also kind of disappointing that its special heal still won't let you heal more than 3. In my opinion, that should have been a high risk, high reward thing with the special heals.
It's baffling to me that it's so nerfed, because what else has it got going on? Because you can't heal without enemies, much like the Witch.
Yeah. So I guess my problem with the memory lockets is that I didn't care
Yeah.
about. Like, I fully upgraded Reaper and then just kept getting memory lockets. And I was like, well, I'm not interested in using any of these things. And then, annoyingly, this is just me having extremely bad timing. I was like, fine, game. I'll put all the memory lockets into these crests I'm not using.
Before you unlocked all the crests.
And then I started getting new crests again at the end of Act 2. It was like, come on.
Yeah, so obviously I had upgraded Hunter. I was using Wanderer. Reaper was fine. I had it on for a while. I was liking its ability. And Architect. So I had a lot of things to invest these. Like, maybe I'll switch later. Maybe I'll find a tool I really like for Architect or something. So
yeah.
I was running out of memory lockets. But I also think, because it took me so long to get Witch and Shaman, those were like tail end of Act 3, just wrapping things up because of all the stuff I missed. For a while there, I was just, I got memory lockets and no crest to spend them on. Not that I'd even deigned to put any in Beast.
Yeah, I went like, oh, they keep giving me memory lockets, but I don't want to spend them. Oh, why not? I'll spend them anyway and check some of these out and see if it's worth it. No, they're still not worth it. Oh, hey, look, now I have 3 more crests, because I got all 3 of them in fairly close succession in terms of, like, I got Witch, I got Architect, I moved to Act 3. I guess you have to go down and then come back up.
I believe so, yeah.
I got Shaman, like, right away when you had the opportunity to do it. So it's just kind of like, you convinced me that this was worthless, and then it turned out that there were things I would care about later. I was kind of hoping when I did upgrade Hunter that some of the others would also upgrade.
I was waiting for that as well, really hoping that there'd be an expansion, like, because they all have a special thing they do. For Hunter, it didn't do anything until it got unlocked, and so I was thinking, oh, maybe this is like a mechanic for all the crests where they'll expand their thing. Like, I didn't even know that Wanderer had a crit mechanic until I had to look up why the screen flashed every so often. Like, I thought I just picked something else up that was independent of crests.
I don't think I ever noticed the crit. The ones that I did switch to were Architect and Shaman.
Oh, okay. It's unfortunate because the memory lockets could be useful for people who weren't you, who specifically did not, A, want the crest you have, and B, just forgot about the crest you could get, like with the needle in. So
that's fair. I don't know, it's just a silly problem that I had, where it's like, everything is giving me these, but I don't want them. Until I did want them, and I didn't have any anymore because I used them all.
I felt there's a big stretch between getting mask upgrades as well, just kind of in the middle. But like, given how expansive this game is, and like, again, part of its whole deal is there are always places to go, even if you missed the breakable wall to get there. So who knows? Apparently you don't have to fight the last judge to get into Act 2. You can just take the back way up through the exhaust organ.
Yeah, I didn't find that.
That's just the harder way through, but it does get around one of the longer boss runbacks. So, and also the fight down there is really good. Just do it all.
Yeah, other dumb things. I didn't get the 3rd Silk Heart until after beating Lost Lace.
It wasn't until after being Lost Lace, but I did have to look up where this last Silk Heart was, because my like situational dumbassery is like, okay, well, I make note of, well, clearly there's something underneath this elevator. I'm going to find a path to like raise it and come back here later, get distracted by something else later in the level, and then forgotten entirely about, oh, there's definitely something underneath this elevator, until I look up like, oh, right. Dumbass.
I definitely did that, or like completely forgot that there was a spot where I needed a key, because I probably didn't have a map at that point and didn't pin it.
Yeah.
And also, they made that area very hard to go back into from the bottom for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. From what I recall, whenever I need to go over there, I just warp or fast travel to the place that's closest to the upper entrance. So, but I can see going in the back way being a little rough.
It's impossible, I think. Like, there's a one-way door that prevents you from going up.
Well, that's that then. I didn't try.
It's just like, I don't know why you did this. What is this stopping? Right? Like, I don't know. If you never got the wave beam in Super Metroid, so you couldn't trigger some of the gates from the wrong side.
You're right. This game needed a wave beam.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there was less movement upgrades in this game than in Hollow Knight, I believe. Like Hollow Knight had its super jump, but it also had a lateral super jump essentially that this game, it has an extended dash with your needle grapple, but
they never had that many of them in Hollow Knight, did they? They had the dash.
Yeah, the dash also got upgraded so you could go through attacks, like the phase cloak essentially. This game doesn't have that.
Yeah, and then they had the crystal dash.
Yes, which is the super lateral move.
And the double jump. And that's it, I want to say? Was there something else that I'm forgetting?
Wall cling, I assume.
Yeah, wall cling. But, I mean, this game also has the wall cling.
Yeah, mostly I'm thinking of the ability to dash through things and go, like, across the screen flying.
That's fair. I mean, the super jump in this is definitely very similar to that. It's up only.
It's up only and requires a ceiling.
Yeah.
There are certain places you just can't use it because it's, again, through the needle, pull yourself up.
I mean, the claw line is very good. It wouldn't surprise me if a lot of the bosses that I had some trouble with, the answer was just use claw line more.
The plant memory boss, definitely.
Yes. Nylia? No, that's a magic card. I don't remember her name now.
It doesn't matter. We all know who we're talking about, but yeah, the one that you have to play the floor is lava. It's very useful to be able to just start pogoing off of the claw line as well.
And also First Sinner.
Sure.
Who Reaper is very slow against her? Question mark?
I believe weavers are all female, so yes.
Okay. So I definitely needed to use the claw line, but on the bright side, that just felt like I was fighting you playing New 13, and I was playing Jin, and I just had to ice car a lot.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. I don't remember you playing Jin a whole lot in BlazBlue, but
no, I never played Jin that much. But
clearly, we gotta boot up Central Fiction, put this to bed.
But that was definitely the like, man, this is just fighting a zoner that's constantly dashing away from you and trying to set up traps, and you just gotta weave in between them. And
sorry, yeah, I guess
I don't know.
You're thinking of me while fighting a Hollow Knight boss. I'm so touched.
Yes, clearly. Yeah. Did you get any allies for the High Halls?
Yes. Or wait, the High Halls fight?
Yes.
No.
Okay. I also did not get any allies for the High Halls fight.
I didn't get any allies for the Beastfly either.
You can get allies for the Beastfly?
I've heard tell that the Zaza and the other guy, the dude who rides the bug, the hero, apparently he'll show up. Potentially Chakra. These are things I'm vaguely remembering from podcasts, so take them with monstrous piles of salt.
Are you thinking of the wrong one? Because the one outside of Bellheart, that's not the Beastfly, that's the, I want to call it Moon Beast, but that's wrong.
Oh, Moth Beast? Or something like, it's a moth.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of that one right now. That one you can definitely get Garment for.
Okay, that one I believe you can also just do the flea quest and they'll show up and it'll just be gone.
Yeah, that's a little weird. The fleas are fine, but I generally found them less rewarding feeling than the grubs.
I guess I can see that. I didn't really compare them in that way so much as, oh yeah, it's the thing to collect, and generally I was in it to collect them more than for the reward, which I don't think I ever used the flea brew. It's probably a good tool, but I just never got around to it.
I did use it. I used that and the fire one. They're pretty short, so you really have to go aggro to make it worth it.
Yeah. But no, I thought you hear the flea cry and you're like, oh, there's an optional platforming challenge / find the hidden route.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it was exceedingly novel, any of the things they did for that, but hazy memory of what it was in the original Hollow Knight.
It just felt more rewarding to turn them in because it would
shower you with money.
Yeah, shower you with money, acknowledge each one better.
Yeah, each individual grub had its own little hole in the original Hollow Knight. Yeah, I can see that. I like the theming of it being a flea circus, like how they're little fuzzy dogs, but they fly.
Yeah.
But I can see that individually turning them in, like, that's not really what you're doing. You're just checking back after you got in a bunch and being like, hey guys, any new event?
Yeah, I don't know. I was also curious if I could have gotten enough fleas to move them to right in front of the judge before killing the judge.
Maybe?
Because that's a spot they move to, right? So it's like, okay, if you could have put them there and you would have had a bench right beside him, that would be a reward for having explored enough.
You know, I don't know, because you can definitely get enough fleas because you can just skip that area entirely, just come back later.
Yeah. I mean, some of the fleas that I missed were like actually very early.
Of course.
And I didn't find them until I got flea detector maps.
Kudos to giving an in-game way to track where the fleas you're missing are in a way that doesn't just immediately give away that, like, actually getting to them is still the puzzle. Appreciate that. Not every game does it.
Yeah.
The ultimate reward being a little series of mini games I thought were fun enough.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it, but it's like, oh yeah, here's testing like staying on a platform, keeping things juggling, stuff like that.
I don't know how I feel about putting a nail upgrade behind them.
Gotta put something.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just like I was doing it kind of on a lark, and I was like, oh man, that's such a good upgrade to have put behind this.
But then you'd be pissed if it was a memory locket.
You know, I would have. You can get all the fleas in Act 2.
Yep.
So I did that, and then in Act 3, I immediately checked on them to see what was happening. And so I ended up having all of the upgrades very early in Act 3.
Wow.
So I would probably be more frustrated if I hadn't checked on them early on.
Sure, like, I don't know, I don't think the upgrade to the pin damage, maybe you notice it more because every swing of the Reaper is so slow, but I don't know. The difference between 1 and 2 hits with the Wanderer wasn't that big a deal. And again, I was already like using tools a bit more to like augment damage, so definitely good to have. Definitely the kind of thing like, oh yeah, your main weapon upgrade, whew, top tier, but I wasn't hurting for damage. So I think it would have been fine, but you know, give the flea something worthwhile. Make people engage with the best characters, the little dog flies. But yeah, no, it sounds like you really this did not live up to your expectations, perhaps.
I mean, so it's funny, like I'm doing a bunch of complaining, but
yeah,
it was actually a lot of fun.
You certainly didn't give up on the game. The main parts of it that you're engaging with was good enough. You had enough fun to spend 70 hours on it.
Yeah, it's just like the feeling like I probably would have had more fun if they made different decisions. And like there were actually points where I was just like, I just want to get this over with, especially having done Carmelita first.
Ooh, yeah, that's the hardest one.
I was like, oh geez, I hope the other two are not this hard. And then I tried the full Crust King and was like, well, that was certainly a place that would have been tedious if it took me more than one try.
It's also funny, like, well, hopefully they're not that hard, and then yeah, you sight read the immediately next one and it's like, well, not this easy. There's got to be a middle ground.
Oh yeah, I guess. And then Lost Lace was actually tons of fun.
Yeah,
I think Lost Lace is in the running for my favorite boss, even though I know that a lot of people are like, there's just too much going on the screen.
No, that's good. That's part of it. But like, it's all readable. Like, even as I was getting punished for doing the same things over and over again, I was like, well, that's my own damn fault. I shouldn't just rush into her parry move. I shouldn't keep dashing back when she's doing the move that punishes the dash back.
No, dude, you gotta rush into her parry because then she's just open to an attack.
Mm-hmm.
I was very frustrated by this. You cannot cross-stitch her parry riposte.
Oh, right. Apparently the cross-stitch is not a great thing, but I kept it on the whole way anyway because it's the parry move.
Cross-stitch is pretty strong, but there are some things that you just can't do with it, and that was a little frustrating. Basically, anything that would be a command grab does not cross-stitch. I just think that specifically, the idea of her parrying and riposting and you parrying the riposte, I want to do that.
Yeah, it should work.
That is classic fighting game bullshit that I would totally do.
The Hakumen mirror match.
Yeah, I actually think more Soul Calibur to me, with like guard impact and then immediately guard impact the attack they make after they guard impacted you, but
See, I never played Soul Calibur that much. I got to make the connections I can make.
That's fair.
But yeah, they put a parry move in this game, but beat for beat, like it's just more efficient, better damage. You can use the Silk Storm basically in every situation. It's just better.
The cross stitch was my solution for people that threw a lot of things out that I didn't actually care to learn how to dodge. So like Lost Garment,
Yeah.
I just stood beside him, hitting him with sword beams and cross stitching whenever he started spewing things.
I see.
And it's like, oh, this small area that is hard to dodge in because there's not much verticality, not a problem. I'm just gonna parry.
Yeah, fair enough. I was really disappointed in the special move that you dash through enemies and deal damage. It just never dealt enough damage.
No, I don't think I put it back on.
Yeah.
I assume you can do some sequence breaks with it.
I would assume as much. You can't get it before you get the needle in anyway, and at that point, maybe. But as far as damage is concerned about actually keeping it on, not worth it.
Well, like, so when you get the needle in, you don't have the claw line yet. You just have the wall jump.
Yeah, so it's basically, if you can skip a place that requires the claw line, sure, but I just can't think of any place off the top of my head that isn't. Just going and getting the claw line is just probably faster.
It seems unlikely that you'd be able to get to the double jump with it.
Oh no, I don't think that.
Because that requires too many claw lines.
I believe you'll run out of silk no matter what.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But I did get captured and brought to the slab.
Excellent. That weird set piece. It takes away all your gear, and now you have to kick and stealth your way through the jail cell.
Yeah, that was alright. I could see it being frustrating depending on what time it happens to you.
Sure. And it's a reference to, I think, Bloodborne did something similar, and I think Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3 all had different enemies that you can either opt into getting in a cage, or you get basically kidnapped and then brought against your will to somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I felt like I just donked it fighting an enemy, and then he hit me with this grab move. Should have been able to dodge, got hit, and then I thought it would just be like, oh, maybe I died. But no, I finally found my way into the slab, which I'd seen earlier but had no way to get into. And I'm like, oh, cool. I was on the other side of the map before, but cool.
Yeah, I got that very early.
Oh, yeah?
So I had not seen anything of that area yet. I got that before fighting the judge, I think.
Oh, wow. I fought the enemy in Bilewater, so far east. I assume they just keep popping up around the map until you get hit by this.
I assume I found it in Farfields. It was just like, oh, hey, now that I have the wall jump, I can get to a new spot. Hey, there's a strange enemy. Oh, I'm in a scripted sequence.
They blue-balled the wall jump.
Although, I mean, I had still done a bunch of things. I don't know, I did some things a little too early, because, like, I think the moment I got the claw line, I also beelined it back to Farfields and tried to do the volcano.
Ah, yes.
And had a very frustrating time with it, and I think hadn't quite internalized using the claw line enough as well. Still think those lava dragonflies are the most annoying enemy.
I'm sorry. Again, push me in the locker next time you see me. That'll definitely fix my brain, but they weren't that bad. But also, you weren't using Magma Bell?
I think I wasn't in that, and then I did at some point, and it helped a little.
Well, I mean, it halves the damage you take generally in that specific sequence, so pretty good.
Yes. I think the bigger problem was that they leave behind their lava, so then now you can't touch that part of the wall anymore.
Ah, I see.
And just, like, something about the way flying enemies wander while flying really doesn't work for me. And that might have been because I was using the Reaper Crest.
Yeah.
Which pushes you down a fair amount while you do its pogo.
Yeah, its pogo is a very wide slash, so you're not likely to miss the stationary bits you're supposed to bounce off of.
But, like, I had the experience of getting above a flying enemy, starting the pogo swing, and getting hit by them because they have wandered up into me. A lot. So I think in general, I feel like the contact damage felt more bullshit to me in this one. I don't know.
Okay. Bullshit.
In that, like, there's this whole thing that I keep repeating of, like, if you have contact damage, then movement is an attack.
Yes.
And that then your movement needs to be somehow telegraphed. I felt like it was worse at that.
Again, it's not a problem I had. Flying enemies I might miss, but that was when I wasn't using like Reaper, the angled thing, or just the shorter range on Wanderer. But it always felt like my fault, and I never had a problem with misreading enemy movement. For the most part, I think that attacks were generally well set up, or at least after you see the enemy for a while, you get the rhythm of how often it does its things. And for a lot of enemies, their movement is literally their only attack. Like the guys that try to tackle you, a bunch of flying enemies have like a dive bomb attack.
Yeah, those ones were fine. It's more like
the ones who like stay away from you and chuck shit at you.
I mean, those ones were a little annoying. They definitely made Clawline worth it.
And also tools. You have tools.
No, I can't use them. The enemy only gives me back half of one use of a tool or something like that. Therefore, I will not use it to kill this enemy. That is a dumb reason. But
yes.
No, it was more like, I think I noticed it on Carmelita's bugs, which like was not hard.
No.
But I feel like the ones in her gauntlet jump more than the ones that you fight on the ground. Particularly the smallest ones. I don't remember them jumping a whole lot when you fight them regularly.
Me neither, but I also don't remember them living long enough to jump more than maybe once.
And then also her big guys, I think their hover wander, ran them into me more than they actually hit me doing their attacks.
I don't know. I think
it's a minor thing.
It doesn't strike me as a...
I think there's far too many of the gauntlets anyway.
Yeah, probably.
The ones that were on their own, fine. Didn't care for the high halls. I didn't have any of the allies, and mostly just found high halls 2 phases where I was actually learning things, interspersed by 8 where I was fighting enemies I had already fought before that basically could not kill me either.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you about that. I'm not going to defend the minor enemy gauntlets. Like the high hull ones is, I think, just a bit too long, but otherwise it's, to a certain extent, not liking it is fine, but I'm not sure if it's specifically a design fault.
There's always the, like, you can go and explore and do things, but it also has the problem of nothing pushes you towards anything. So, like, if you didn't find where to duel Garmund in order to get him to help you there, you don't know that that's a possibility.
Yes.
Or if you don't know that you're missing areas because, like, you didn't note particular places that Clawline could be used to get to the coral area, then you also can't do Chakra's quest and get her to help you. It's like, I
understand not liking that, but that is very clearly what they want to happen. Yes. They want you to be able to miss things. They want you to get lost. They don't care if you beat the game or if you get the first ending and then that's it because you didn't do the wishes because the wishes suck.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, that is the vision, and it seems like you do not care for their vision, and that's fine. Obviously, if I were to, say, get completely lost and find myself unable to progress, maybe I spend 3 hours on one boss and say, fuck this. I'm pitching at a different tune. To a certain extent, I was this tall to ride and thus missed a lot of the frustration and friction that other people feel. And so, fucking privileged over here.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, I'm fine with the missing stuff. I'm not fine with the tedium that it leaves me with. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, high halls, I think it only took me 4 times to get it right. But I would rather fight any other boss 40 times. And I would have way more fun with it. And I did have way more fun with Carmelita, who I'm pretty sure I did fight 40 times.
Sure.
I didn't count, but it was a lot.
Yeah. I don't mean to specifically defend the high halls fight more generally.
And even Carmelita had a thing in front of it, and I thought that was kind of dumb. It's like, no, just let me put in reps against this. A lot of systems seemed to be geared towards not letting you just put in reps against things. And it's like, no, if I feel like I'm not strong enough, I will go seek out more things. I just want to practice this boss. Why are you stopping me from doing this, or just making it that little bit more frustrating?
You gotta play the song.
Yeah, why does it take 30 seconds to stand up from the dream and then play the song again and then run over and then fight the gauntlet before her, which is never going to leave me with less than full health, but I still have to do it.
You got to get consistent enough for that, I guess. I don't know. Yeah,
I think to some extent it's something that I was comparing in my head to Nine Souls,
I see.
where a lot of the enemies build pattern recognition to the bosses.
Sure.
And this has a lot of times where you fight enemies as a prelude to a boss, but that just feels like wasted time because the relationship between them is not strong enough.
Maybe I can see a bit more with Carmelita and her specific move set a bit. She obviously is doing her own thing, but like, I don't know. I think it was more of a remix of all of the things the ants have been doing. But yeah, comparing it to Nine Souls, I'm not going to say that Nine Souls is not a much better game, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like when I think of putting in the reps, that's kind of the mindset it puts me into, right?
And also, Nine Souls, when you're fighting a boss, the boss is generally just right there.
Yeah, I think I had the same experience with both final bosses, where it's just like, I was loving every time I failed against it. Or it's like, okay, this was a very fair death. How am I going to prevent that this time?
Yeah.
I am growing mastery. That pattern that once bothered me no longer does. But it's like the other places where just it's a little more tedious.
Would you say this would be a better game if they just didn't really have, or at least not nearly as many groups of enemy ambushes?
I mean, the ones outside of boss arenas are fine. I didn't complain about them. I think there's only a couple that I ever died in. And it's like, whatever.
It sounds like at best it's whatever.
Yeah. I feel like they needed to connect the reward with them better. Like, there were some that there was actually a reward after, in that you'd get past them and then there'd immediately be rosaries or whatever.
Yeah.
Just shower me with beads.
Yeah, no, it did not give you your goodies. A lot of bosses also had this, where your reward was you get to continue on. And then maybe that is actually just leading you to the reward, but it does not immediately trigger the serotonin of, I got my goodie.
Yeah, why is the last guy not holding everyone's beads? And why is he not, like, just a loot pinata? I don't know. This is a dumb complaint.
Drop some shards for the tools or something.
Yeah, I feel like I would feel way better about some of these things with, like, just little tweaks like that, where if there's beads behind a gauntlet, put them in the last enemy of the gauntlet so I can feel like I burst open a pinata.
Yep.
Why isn't there a shards magnet? Why does this magnet not upgrade to deal shards too?
Oh, yeah.
That was a dumb complaint that I had in terms of losing shards to spikes. And it always seems like there's a lot of shard deposits right over spikes.
Right over spikes, I also found them like, I'm already full, but I just want to destroy them. It's like being full on rupees, but still opening the chest full of rupees.
I guess. I didn't feel like that as much, but I was also not really using the tools in the middle of the game, so
Yeah, I don't know. The game's design is not perfect, but I do like what it did for me personally.
Yeah.
There are definitely things that I think if they changed would be a better game, or at the very least added options that I wouldn't have to engage with if I wanted to do my sicko mode. Like difficulty in all games. Huge discourse. I don't really want to wade into it too much, but generally rising tide lifts all ships. The more options you have, the better it is for people who want to slide it either way. And if you have the privilege of not having a problem, all the rougher edges get sanded down, but clearly, for some people, very tedious gameplay at times.
I mean, look, I'm complaining a lot about this. I'm still probably putting it in the top 10.
Well, sure. But yeah, like a lot of what's good about this game is also known quantities from the original Hollow Knight. Obviously, it made more of an impact on me, probably from theming, probably from Hornet's specific move patterns. And even though I did use Wanderer for quite a bit, I did eventually swap to the Augmented Hunter, just because it felt better, even if I wasn't doing better. But do you have any final thoughts before we move to actually putting this in the top 10?
I think I dumped out most of the thoughts that I had about this game.
You certainly dumped on this game.
I mean, I don't know. It's much fresher in my mind because it took me 70 hours to beat it.
There should be like in addition to time to beat, just like how long it takes for the meat to go sour. Like if you're not beating it by this time, you will be having a bad time.
I mean, I don't know. I take a long time in things because I like to be like, oh, I've got this new thing. I can probably get this one upgrade now. I'll go there right now. That's how I end up doing the volcano when I'm not ready for it or whatever.
And I thought I was wandering around aimlessly at times, like when I was trying to find where to get to some of the memories. It's like, okay, it's part of this map, but to get to there, you have to go through a different map first.
Oh, yeah, the heart of the forest.
Yep.
I definitely was like, I have explored all of this forest. I have a super jump. How is it that I have not found the spot where I need to go up? And the answer turns out to be that's because it's not in the forest. It's actually over there in the underworks.
So yeah, I spent like an hour like searching around before having the brain blast of, well, maybe there's another route somewhere else. And so like just kind of going around the spot on the map in the different zones. Okay, I'll actually just transition right into the stack rank, which of course we always do for all of our games. You can find a link down in the doobly-doo if you're watching on YouTube. So the thing that this game does best is the whole map design, right? That's why I think it's kind of bread and butter, what's kind of separates it from the rest. It's the one thing I think it does better than Nine Souls, which is currently my number 2.
Fair.
I think Nine Souls is pretty straightforward in its exploration, whereas its approach to combat, I think, even though I appreciated the characters in this game, the story is doing a bit more high-minded stuff in Nine Souls. It's clearly a bit more of the focus, as much as I did enjoy it here. So for me personally, despite having, or actually because of having so much trouble navigating the map, is why it's so high. But ultimately, I was less interested in dodging bosses as much as parrying them, and the parry was not good enough. So Silksong is my new number 3, above Metroid Prime.
All right. I'm actually fairly certain about where I want to do. I feel like normally I need to stall for time. I'm going to put it right under Nine Souls. Weird that this is the comparison that we're determined on making.
Recent hard Metroidvania.
It pushes Haiku down to 9, which, I don't know. Haiku was fine, but in hindsight, I probably scored it pretty highly.
There's less of an impetus on Haiku the robot to be better than Hollow Knight.
That's fair.
It's clearly doing similar things to Hollow Knight, but I think it just did not... Its scope is definitely much lower than Silksong's is.
Yeah, maybe some of it is just the weight of expectations.
Its lateral movement was also like all the way across the screen, but it was a similar mechanic of a grapple hook. They're basically the same game.
Another kind of dumb thought. I feel like I didn't get very many interesting charms until like the very end.
I don't think I got many interesting charms overall. Usually they're just like useful things to have, like, oh, you heal a bit more, or it adds poison to your tools, I think is the most interesting they ever get.
I think one of the things that kind of frustrates me is that because obviously based just purely on number, a lot of the customization is in the tools, which I didn't like to use.
Yep.
So I didn't experience that much of it. Also, there's missable variants of them, which is I'm not going to play this game 3 times to try those all out.
They're not that different, but like it's not like there's a new game plus where you get them all in one run. It's just, okay, yeah, choose which variant you want of the Silk Shot.
I feel like there could have been more variety in Blue Tools. I don't know. I feel like I was using the same set for a while. Maybe that wasn't good or optimal. I mean, probably not, because I spent a long time with quick heal, double heal.
I mean, that's a safe option.
Yeah, it's a safe option, but it's also kind of boring.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, I just didn't have things that I felt like running more than that.
In these games, it's like, yeah, there's so many options, but we always slum it into something that's just comfortable.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm sure there's someone who's very good who's just like, oh yeah, obviously the silk skills when you're full on health is the best, because if you're good enough, you just never get touched. So you always have cheap silk skills.
Yeah, I think being good at the game is honestly overpowered. They should probably nerf that.
Yeah, nerf skill blocks.
But I think we should probably stop beating this dead horse. It's really kind of making a mess of things in this crypt, so we should probably get a custodian for it. Our next game is Crypt Custodian.
Ah.
Yeah, that's right. I'm still on my bullshit. This is an isometric Zelda-like, but technically a Metroidvania.
I mean, it was made by the same person who made Cheapo.
Yeah. I never played Cheapo. I was just kind of looking through games, and this one kind of stuck out to me as being relevant to my interests and different enough that I hope we won't keep making comparisons to Silksong. And I hope, God willing, I never have to say the name of this game again for at least a couple months. But regardless, if you have deep questions about the game that shall not be named, you can still email us. I won't read it, but Tom might. At invertedcastlepodcast@gmail.com. Leave a comment anywhere good comments are sold. We are, of course, on Facebook, X, at InvertedCastleP. Never forget the P, and on YouTube. In any case, I've been Eric Fox.
And I've been Thomas Blake.
And remember, kids, inside of each of you is a special song. But if it's not lore relevant, then who the fuck cares?